Is dove big down here, or is?
So at that deer lease, which is in Sweetwater, it's near Abilene. This past year it was actually really sad because it was so dry. The lake dried up. There wasn't hardly any dove. But the past 2 years before that, there were so many. They were everywhere. So it was great for it.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's because I know where we were at, it was deer and turkey were like the two big.
Yep. The Rio Grandes.
Yeah. And then dove was big, but because dove was so coveted, they rarely ever brought it back to the house at school because they're like, no, we only shot like 60 dove. That's not enough to, like, I'm gonna save it for the family. Like, the family's gonna eat it, not you guys. Forget you guys. And it's like, oh darn. And then I just remember one year they would go coon hunting, and my buddy's dad would just have a truck bed full of coon hides, and he'd go sell them to the local fur guy, and then he'd come out with like a $2,500 check of fur hides or whatever. And he's like, all right guys, we're going to eat, and it's like, it's on me. And I'm like, where are we going? Oh, we're gonna go to this diner down the road, get whatever you want. Most expensive thing on the menu was like $8, and I'm like, give me 20 of them. No, I'm just kidding. So.
Yeah, my dad used to coon hunt a lot. There's a picture of my dad and mom when they were dating. She's got a coon hat on.
Yeah.
It's cute.
I never got into hunting, but I've always kind of been intrigued by it. Just because, obviously, I was born with CP, so getting around in the woods is, like, not the easiest thing in the world for me, but everybody tells me, it's like, I mean, if that's your barrier, that's an easy thing to overcome. Like, if you really want to go, we can get you out there. I'm like, all right, we'll have that conversation at some point. So
the meat's definitely worth it, though.
Oh yeah.
Like, we went elk hunting last year. My first time, I got blessed. You know, it's really hard to come up on an elk. Your first year, it was crazy. But I got an elk, and my brother-in-law got one, and we have 8 on that thing, both of us, because our houses are pretty close together. So my sister and her husband will come over and we'll eat together. And we've made quesadillas. We've made tortellini with it. Sausage, backstrap, fried steak, regular steak with it. You know, there's just like that's all we've ate all year, pretty much.
Nice. I remember when I moved out from school, like I was the last one to leave, and I was cleaning out the fridge and freezer one day, and I found 2 sacks of backstraps just sitting deep in the deep freeze. And I called my buddy Alex. I was like, hey, do you know that there's 2 pounds of backstraps just kind of sitting here? And he's like, oh shit, well, congratulations, you win. And I'm like, what do I win? And he's like, you win the meat. And I'm like, cool. And I was like, do you remember, is this year, like, how long has this stuff been sitting in here? And he's like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least 2 years old, because if it was sitting that deep in the deep freeze, it just got lost. And so I took it down to Florida, made it for my mom and dad, and it's like,
I bet it was still good.
Oh, it was very good. It was very good. One of the neighbors for my parents down there, he came over because he smelt it. He was like, you guys eating deer? And I'm like, yeah. You want some? He's like, yeah. How'd you cook it? Because he was a chef. And I was like, I just threw it on the grill. I put it on some, marinated it in this Dale's, I think it was. I marinated it in this and then just burned it. And he's like, well, you need to keep cooking deer because this is cooked perfectly, and deer is not easy to cook. And I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of figured it's cooked.
Have you ever fried it?
No.
So we will take it, and have you ever made fried squash?
No.